And we have Richard from South Shields next. Hi, Richard. Hello there.
How's it going?
All right.
Well, I wanted to talk about ghosts myself.
Okay.
Do you know ghosts? You can pick them up on thermal imaging cameras.
Apparently, yeah.
If you look closely to any sort of image, right, you can actually pick up all sorts of things, whether it be ghosts or, as long as you use the right equipment, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, you can pick up people on radio. You can pick up people on television.
Mm-hmm.
You can pick up people on thermal imaging equipment
Right.
and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've been testing a few things in theory, just like on equipment that you can just buy at the shop, or stuff that you can make yourself, right? Now, do you know the thing that you've got with your bucket and stuff, that you must have learned how to get ghosts in your bucket and that, in the water?
Ghosts in your bucket?
Yeah, like, well, you have like a pail of water in one corner and a candle in the other, and that sort of thing.
It's a dish.
It's a dish.
A dish of water.
A dish of water, or a bucket, well, whatever. Yeah, the bigger the ghost, the more water you use, right? So anyway, I've got this theory, right?
Uh-huh.
I've been studying a few books, Nostradamus and stuff like that, right?
Right.
In particular, Nostradamus, right?
Right. But that's got nothing to do with ghosts, though, has it?
Well, basically, people...
Is that a yes or a no?
Yes.
It is to do with ghosts.
Well, Nostradamus must be dead now, right? So, if he's a ghost, right, he can travel backwards and forwards in the future. See, time doesn't exist for a ghost.
How do you know?
Well, basically, a ghost will be alive in the form of a ghost forever, right? Because ghosts don't actually go to... once the body's gone, the soul floats forever, an eternal...
Does it? Does it not go back into other people's bodies and they can live?
Only what I've been presuming myself, right?
Presuming?
Everybody's got their own assumption and opinion.
Okay.
Right? Now, if you think about eternal life, right? Do you know, like that thing where God says you'll have eternal life, but your body will only last for 70 years according to the Bible, right? According to the Bible, it says that you only last for 70 years, but your spirit's eternal. So
what's gone wrong with the people who live to be 80, 90 or 100?
Well, whatever. Basically, it could be...
You just say that to God, do you? God,
well,
whatever.
It doesn't actually say that, because someone can die when they're 2.
Uh-huh.
Or someone can die when they're 102.
Is this just God getting it wrong then?
Well, not really. It just says... I don't want to go too much into the Bible about this anyway, but God, right, it works out like the spirit is an eternal force, right? And it makes no difference what sort of spirit it is. You're a spirit, obviously you're attached to Alan Robson, the body, but your spirit is inside of you. Now, you can be picked up, right? Your spirit can be picked up and used by people that are very clever, right? To the point in which I'm not trying to put too fine a point on it, right? But if you look at the date, is today's date, right? You know, if the clock's going forward an hour,
yeah,
right? So what happened in that hour, right? Things like that, yeah.
So they're just correcting. They're correcting a calendar that's inefficient.
Exactly.
That's all that's about.
Yeah. Well,
because we created time, didn't we? Though time doesn't exist, does it?
Well, time doesn't. Well, that's exactly right. If time doesn't exist, right, and that is in about what, say, 3 minutes ago, right? That ghosts travel and they can travel backwards, forwards in time. It makes no difference, does it?
But how do you know that they can travel backwards and forwards?
Well, you could go back to yesterday and remember what you've done. Or you could go...
Yeah, but you can't go... I can't go in the future and say what's done. What's going to happen, can I?
Well, that's...
So how can he go do that?
Nostradamus, you see. That gets me back to Nostradamus. Nostradamus could have predicted all these things.
Yeah, but did he?
Well,
did he predict them? Because if you've read what he actually wrote, and you probably haven't, you've read somebody's translation of it, because everything he wrote was in 3 languages all mixed up.
Like Latin and stuff.
It was gobbledygook. It was 3 languages all mixed together to words that just didn't go side by side, and when they were translated, it made no sense. So somebody else came along and put their own interpretation on what it might have meant. And what a surprise. It meant spaceships, cars, Hitler, and all this. Well, but it didn't. For example, the word that he used for Hitler was in fact Hilter, and it was a mixture of two separate languages cut in the middle. They put the two words together to form Hilter, and they say that obviously means Hitler. Well, no.
Well, exactly.
It was hill, and it was a word that went terror something or other.
Yeah,
and they just bunged it together.
Yeah, it's just somebody's opinion, though, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
if
precisely.
If I spell colour, right, and I say to somebody in America, how do you spell colour? They would come up with a completely different thing.
Yeah.
So
But you see, that gives us
it's the same
less
thing.
reason to believe him then, doesn't it?
Well, not really, because...
If he had something to say, why didn't he just say it in one language so that people could understand what he was saying?
Well, that's exactly it. Everybody does speak gobbledygook, because you could say something to somebody and they might not get what you've said because they're not intelligent enough to guess or get what you said.
But if you were to say, in 50 years' time, there will be a device that will allow man to fly through the air. That's very plain, very simple, can't be misinterpreted, it's very straightforward. But instead, Nostradamus mixed 3 languages, 2 of the languages uncommon ones, and, you know,
Common one.
just to confuse. And now everybody, or not everybody, but a certain amount of people read these things, they read the translations that have been translated, then retranslated 20 or 30 times to fit what they want them to be, and they say, hey, what a clever man he was.
But ghosts, right? Do you know when you mentioned Chillingham Castle and stuff, like, ghosts appear, right? I'm actually speaking to you, right? Via the telephone, right? Now, I'm not actually with you in the visible sense, but you can actually hear my voice.
Yeah.
And you know there's a person at the other end of the phone. There's the same difference between, like, I know there's a person at the other end of the phone that I'm on. You, all the people that are listening, it's the same thing.
What's that going to do with ghosts, then?
Yeah, but everybody's opinion of me or you, it could be different.
Sure.
If they've never met you and they've never met me, well, they've met you, but they might not have met me.
Right.
If you understand, you've never met me.
But what's that got to do with ghosts?
Well, basically, you could have all sorts of different opinions about me, right?
And what's that got to do with ghosts?
Well, basically, I could be, you see, a ghostly apparition is only something that you don't know about, right? Now, if I'm talking to you, right, I'm not saying I'm a ghost, or I'm not saying anything, it's just what you thought.
Right, but you rang up about ghosts. What is your point about them? Because at the present moment,
Right.
you're not close to actually
The
making
present
them.
point is, you can pick up ghosts, right? Now, all these people...
How can you pick up a
Well,
ghost?
ghosts are listening to these conversations what we're having now on the phone,
Are they?
via the radio, because they listen to the radio.
Do they?
Well, yeah,
How do you
because
know?
If they know that you would have castle, because you can communicate with ghosts in the form of Ouija boards and stuff.
Can you?
Well, of course you can. Like, if you think of a chessboard, right, and then you think of Alice in Wonderland, right, that's a ghostly thing, isn't it?
No, it's a
The
fairy story.
It's a fairy story.
Yeah.
Well, a fairy's a ghost, isn't it?
No. You're losing it again, Richard, but thanks for trying.